Hello to all those who are actually here. Today we are taking a look at a video. We were supposed to. Oh boy, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this.
Doing exactly what
Yeah,
Keffel's
17 minutes. Might as well. Hello, the toiletist. Hello. You're the first here, which means that you may as well be the first to join the page. Today we have a treat. We're gonna be talking real history today because we have a real history enthusiast that wishes to talk to me. And who am I to refuse a genuine enthusiast to from participating in the discourse? Isn't that right? The toiletist toilet, toiletist toilest, toil in the toilet. Dang, you got more tabs open than me. That's right. I'm the ultimate tabist. And I got also a few separate windows open, so these are not the only tabs that I've got. That's not the limit of my power, because there are a few windows open separately. I saw your announcements in Sunday Orbiters. Wait, is that the first time you're watching any of my streams? Is that the first time you watching me? Hello? Or have you seen anything of mine before? Might as well give you the full treatment then. Hello, Glitch Master. I'm getting President Sunday fans. I might as well react to President Sunday content. First time. Okay, perfect. I have to make a good impression or something. Hoping, praying that you'll come back. That you'll come back time and time again. I'm drinking Timbark. Timbark is a juice brand. I recently went to. Also, here's a pronunciation guide for my name. Think toiletist, like the most toilety. The toiletist, like some kind of philosophy. True. Toiletist. Like the practitioner of toilets. I guess. Toiletist. So I guess I should say what I do. Since you're here for the first time, I do history, I do politics. I mainly usually talk about the war in Ukraine. In fact, I went to Ukraine recently to talk to some organizations in Kiev. And I recently returned from Ukraine. And soon enough, I'm going to be there again. Interestingly. Because there's a plumber of a name like True. There's a special organization that I'm interviewing called Save Ukraine. Save Ukraine takes care of rescuing children that were kidnapped by Russia. And they sort of rescue those children and bring them home to their families in Ukraine. That's the gist of it. You know? That's what I'm gonna do soon. I'm looking to contact and talk to some more organizations in the meantime while I'll be there. And also, We're gonna warm up this stream by reacting to a President Sunday video and playing a video game. It's gonna be about Destiny. That's good work. Well, I hope it'll end up being good. All I can hope is that it'll end up being good. So if you'd like to support any of it, then join my White Forest and consider dropping me a donation. Or subscribing even. Though it's sort of similar. Okay, let's watch this video about Destiny. I think we're all excited. I'm excited. It's 17 minutes. Yes, that's right, my husband. My husband Destiny. And then we're gonna watch a video about Russian state media reacting to Trump being convicted as a felon. That's always exciting, isn't it? That's always cool. Destiny keeps winning. Gosh.
Segment here. As we all know, DGG does not harass people except when Destiny decides that they do. And you'll probably be familiar with what we're going to see because we've all seen this in some form or another. In case anyone is wondering why the wisecrack guy Michael O'Burns locked his account today, it's because Destiny sicked. It's the wrong spelling of sicked, but sicked his audience on him. Any chance Team YouTube can take a look into this? And realizing my original post might need some more context, here's the original video. Here's Destiny's official Twitter community where the posts originated from, just to be clear. So, just so we have...
Seems like my brother disconnected my controller and now it doesn't work, so no game. I really wanted to show you my skills in the game. Oh my gosh, so many white people in the chat. That is depressing. Almost as depressing as the controller not working, for example, for some reason. Oh, it's working now. Okay, we can now really play. Perfect. Oh, wow. Thank you, Glitchmaster. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do the Destiny thing. Should I get a cool layout like President Sunday? You know, I've been known for playing Doom. My most watched video is me reacting to Bad Empanada while playing Doom. So, and Bad Empanada, it has like 5.5 thousand views. And Bad Empanada does not waste time to get angry every 5 seconds about me playing Doom while reacting to his sacred video. So, you know. Doom is more on brand for me than for President Sunday. President Sunday stole my vibe.
Context here, let's make that bigger so we can actually see it. Oh my god, what even is this? Okay.
I need to, okay, if I could harass people in any way, it would be call out culture. Like, fucking August, if you make this a video, it should be like a call out. Like, I will debate either of you two, or have a conversation, or talk, or whatever, about any of the shit you're saying here. I think that for as long as people invoke my name and then mischaracterize me like this, every comment section you have should be like, hey, why are you guys still avoiding Destiny even though you're talking about blah, blah, blah. I think so. Until people just don't talk about me. If they fear the Dali banner, they're scared, then they should be. Then yeah. Because like if you're going to be this much of like a spineless, cowardless fuck, right? And you're just going to like blatantly fucking lie about me or try to undermine me or poison the well in any other community you're in. Yeah, I think you should get fucking every single comment section of you should be like, hey, so why'd you sell this shit but you weren't willing to talk about it?
Yeah, okay. So
I will poison
just so you guys know, when you see like 50 or so between 0 and 30 follower accounts jumping into your comments saying obsessed constantly.
I
Or
wish. I wish that would mean engagement. Okay. I wish I got this type of engagement, but alas, no, I don't. Maybe DGG should up its game and come for me. Maybe I should criticize my husband more. Like, listen, even when I criticize Destiny, the infamous DGG does not come for me. What's that about? True. It could be revitalized.
debate Destiny, bro. This is what it is. It's
I
a
will
bunch of
debate
antisocial
Destiny.
losers
I will debate Destiny.
uh,
Anytime, on any
that are
subject.
doing exactly what Keffel's defenders do, which
Oh.
is they want to feel acknowledged and a part of a thing with the big TV guy or the big TV gal, as it happens, and that's it. This is it. This is literally the business model. It's not winning debates. He doesn't really win many debates. He's actually kind of shit at debating. What
Listen, being part of the Lucy Has a Pond has the perk of being acknowledged whether or not you go and ask people to debate me or not. You don't have to do anything to be acknowledged here. You just have to be here. You just have to be here and you'll be acknowledged. Husband debate, yes. The only requirement over here to be acknowledged is to just, I don't know, appear. Show up. Show up and you'll be acknowledged for showing up. TV guy to describe a YouTuber. True. I mean, it is YouTube, and tube refers to television, no? So it sort of makes sense. Oh, toiletist. What sort of streamers do you watch apart from President Sunday? And of course your favorite streamer, which is, I'm assuming starting today, me.
it is, like truly. He was celebrated early on because he was debating really incompetent debaters with really toxic ideas and pretending not to have those ideas himself. Destiny. But you'll notice he's performing terribly lately. He's performing really badly in recent debates. In his debate on Palestine, on Breaking Points, with that Amar person with Ryan Grimm, can't remember the lady's name. He did terribly. He was going off about how they banned cookies because they're extracting the sugar for rockets. Like he looked ridiculous. He looked hideous. In the debate with Norman Finkelstein and Moin Rabbani.
I'm not even sure if it's because he's bad at debate per se. I think it's because he's trying to be an expert of everything, at everything, and you simply cannot be an expert at everything, because if you're an expert at everything, you're an expert at nothing. I think people call this sort of attitude being a generalist. You know, that you try to be good at every single topic possible, imaginable, and you just can't. You have to have a topic that you sort of mainly focus on and know something about more. You know? This is why you see certain people that will focus on Ukraine, and they will, generally speaking, perform really well on Ukraine. You know? You know what I mean? Pretty much this circle of streamers. Westside Tyler too. Introduced to Kid Not Kin yesterday. What do you think of Kid Not Kin? And hopefully soon myself on a monitor window. Vocal feminization. I'm working constantly on my vocal feminization. It's like a thing that I'm working on constantly. So yeah, like people that are, generally speaking, I mean, people that prepare more in a single subject, sort of immerse themselves in a single subject usually do better than people that try to be good at everything, because it's impossible to be just good at everything, you know?
I don't know if it'd be genocide if they nuked them all. Like, now, Finkelstein looked bad himself in that debate, but Destiny has consistently looked terrible on this issue. He began it demonstrating after announcing publicly, hey, I think the total displacement of the Palestinians is okay. He demonstrated immediately after that that he didn't know where Israel was on a map. This has become a meme at this point. He thought it was in Turkey. In addition, he thought Aragon was the president, which means he literally thought Israel was in Turkey. In fact, he literally thought Israel was Turkey. And like
did Destiny really actually thought that Aragon was in charge of Israel? And somebody gave me a link of Destiny saying that Aragon was... No, that's impossible. That's impossible. I don't know. Really?
It's been like a constant snowballing of failing uphill. It's actually kind of incredible. And the reason for it is because every single channel has like the same 100 freaks jumping in, saying, hey, talk to Destiny. Hey, talk to Destiny. It's a free ad campaign by antisocial weirdos. That's literally it. That's it. There's nothing else there. There's no climbing a ladder. There's no, oh wow, he really knocked down that titan off his perch. No. That's it. It's literally just artificial hype by a bunch of random unpaid losers who have nothing else to do with their time. It's kind of insane. Culture jamming, is that a term? That's actually good to know if that's a term. But I mean, you'll see this literally everywhere.
What is culture jamming?
Look at that.
Jamming to the culture?
Culture jamming, also called guerrilla communication, is a form of protest used by many anti-consumerist social movements to disrupt or subvert media culture and its mainstream cultural institutions, including corporate advertising. It attempts to expose the methods of domination of mass society.
Wow.
The phrase culture jamming comes from the idea of radio jamming, where public frequencies can be pirated and subverted for independent communication or to disrupt dominant frequencies used by governments. Interesting. It's not entirely off, actually. It's not exactly what it is, but you'll look at like pages like Decoding the Gurus. Everyone's like, do Destiny. And that's just hype from a fan base. But then afterwards, everyone's flooding in, talking about nothing but that. President Sunday, did you see Joe Rogan called him a Wikipedia debater? Yeah, I don't particularly care about that. Joe Rogan's not much better from an ethical standpoint. The point, though,
Hold on, I want to see.
is that Joe Rogan has charisma, and he doesn't...
I'm gonna check it here first on a separate browser to see if it's safe. As in, if I don't have any real embarrassing account on.
This whole thing, or?
Oh no, wait. Okay, might as well. So Destiny thought that Erdogan was from Israel? Hold on.
This whole thing, or? Light green is Palestinian. Wait, what light green? Oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong area. This is Turkey. Oh, here, okay. Ugh.
Okay, but what's the Erdogan? Where's the Erdogan thing? Where's the Erdogan thing? Aragon? Aragon? Arlong? Like the one from One Piece? Arlong?
Fail to the same degree. Like let's think of a profile of Stephen Bennell right now. Stephen Bennell is a genocide apologist for a place he can't find. He reflexively defends the actions of an increasingly unpopular genocidal regime. He's publicly had a very embarrassing divorce from a woman who's...
I'm gonna be honest. I really don't care about discussing Destiny's or anyone else's divorce. I'm just gonna be completely honest here. Like, I've said it before on stream, but I think these sort of things are private. Even if Destiny has chosen to make the whole divorce thing, technically speaking, public, I guess. I don't know. It still feels private enough for me that I don't care to talk about it, if that makes sense. I don't care to discuss other people's love life, sex life, or whatever intimate life. You know? I just don't. So I don't. You will notice. If you're watching my streams, you'll notice that I've not really discussed Destiny's divorce or whatever. But just, I don't think it's relevant to anything. I don't think I care. You know? Does that make sense?
Loyalty he has flaunted as a trophy on the basis of how cool he is, I guess. He then threatened her publicly afterwards with dirt he could release if he did. We have the story about him attempting to kill a child. We have him boosting the careers of people like Mr. Girl and Nick Fuentes. We have a laundry list of public statements saying things like, I hope you get raped with a shovel and bleed out the hole. Literally. That's a thing he's said to someone. The list goes on. We have like stupid things that just demonstrate a general self-interested dishonesty. We have guys, I'll never sell you NFTs, and if I do, you'll know that I've like fallen or I'm a scammer or whatever. And then he's immediately like, oh yeah, you guys, I think I've been looking into it. I think you should buy NFTs. Things of that sort. Like this.
I mean, I wouldn't be too happy if people dug out and discussed my private life. So, you know. I would not be very kosher.
This is just an all-around disgusting garbage human being. Like across the board. Why is he successful? And it's not because of him. Somebody else in his position, we have an example of this. We have someone like Vosh, right? The only reason why Vosh is not doing this, well, I mean, it's twofold. First of all, it's because he's a coward. He's a coward. He can't take the heat. When he gets criticized, he crumbles. He has to, okay, everybody, you're now going to be the human wall around me.
Jesus.
And second, because he doesn't mobilize or encourage his audience to run out there and just spam public spaces with his presence. That's basically it. That's a massive advantage. Immediately now, every single person in every single chat room is like, oh, there's 100 people here talking. Who's this Destiny person? I gotta look this up. What the fuck is this? Even if you're annoyed by them, now it's ringing around in your head.
Damn.
He planned to kill a kid. Yeah. So for people who don't know about the attempting to... Oh, you don't know?
So nobody... Maybe I should send my big audience. Talk about Lucy, and people will be like, who's this Lucy? Who's this Lucy that everybody keeps talking about? Maybe that should happen. Maybe that's my road to success. What do you think? What does the audience think of, I don't know, going out there and spamming everywhere? Talk to Lucy. Lucy. Haza, or Haze, as some people say.
Know about this?
Does that sound like an exquisite idea? Like an amazing idea? Like a thing that you should probably do? Should I steal my husband's techniques?
You know, okay, let's let me pull that up, okay?
Kid. That's a guy, that's one of the people, like, legitimately, like,
no.
I was so, you have no, like, it's actually kind of scary, like, how close I was to getting people together to go down to his house and kill him and his family. Or it would have just been him and his father. Because I didn't know anything about it. Dude, that was some of the most fucked up shit in my entire life. I was so fucking close to doing it. But I was making so much money on Twitch, and I don't know if Nathan was involved in yet, but for whatever reason, I decided that the current life I had wasn't worth the risk of. Oh my god. Oh my god, I was so close to this fucking address. I had fucking streets mapped out and fucking you have no fucking idea. That's when I first started getting an interest in, like, owning a weapon. I got a permit to own a gun and everything.
Wow.
Holy fuck.
Holy fuck, it's
Yeah.
right.
So why is someone like this failing upwards? Why is that possible? Why is someone, if any of you did this, you would be over. Why?
Wow.
Destiny's debate tactics are on a par with Stefan Molyneux's or Sargon. Yeah. But like, it's an interesting question. How do you survive this? This would be the death of anyone, unless you don't. Here's the trick. Destiny's not like a politician. He's not like an actual celebrity. He's not like an actor. He's not like an artist. He's not like a journalist.
That is
Destiny
pretty-
is literally
That is a lot. Yeah.
like a fucking rumor. That's it. It's here's this weird fucking guy. He likes arguing with people. He's crazy, but he's also really smart. That's it. There's nothing else there. Because the people in his audience they're like watching Dr. House. And Hugh Laurie's House character is like a facsimile of like someone.
That's true. Destiny is like House MD. Or Dr. House. True. Big genius. Who just treats people like puzzles to solve. Damn. Isn't that right?
Who knows things. Nobody serious actually acts like that, but he looks really cool. And the thought process, it's the exact same thing with people who defend Keffals. It's like this weird buzz, this community gives them a sense of meaning and
Listen, to me, people who know things are cool, you know? People who put a lot of effort into what they do, who sort of really know what they're talking about, really put a lot of themselves into what they do. That's cool. You know? But hey, maybe that's just me. Oh? Okay. Let me see. Do you agree with my definition of cool? Do you agree with my rule of cool? Or not really? Oh, there we go. There we go then.
Honestly, I'm pro genocide. Like, it sounds really shitty, but like, I think that Israel should just draw up its fucking borders about where it is now,
My C rule, yeah.
and basically Palestinians can go live in another place. That's really shitty, but like, that's about where I'm at.
Also Destiny.
يدعون انهم يخدمون القضيه
Bashar al-Assad, is that this guy?
الفلسطينيه وان القضيه الفلسطينيه
No.
Oh, come on. Destiny did not know who Assad was?
الاولى عندهم
Fuck, who is this? Who are these people? Fuck, am I just supposed to know?
وان القضيه الفلسطينيه هي الاولى
This isn't him.
عندهم
Oh, Erdogan.
القدس هي
Is it Erdogan? Erdogan? I don't know if I can pronounce this guy's name. When did he become president of Israel? Previous.
A Turkish politician. It says here a Turkish politician. And he says, oh my gosh.
President of Israel.
Okay.
Previous.
الأولى
This isn't him.
عندهم.
Oh,
هي الأولى عند
Bashar al-Assad. Is that this guy?
القضية الفلسطينية.
Bashar al-Assad. Is that this?
Okay. That's yeah, that's something. I mean, if you believe yourself to be interested even mildly in foreign affairs, then you should know who Assad is. You should know who Erdogan is. Even though I say the name like the demon from the DC, it's like Erdogan, not Erdogan, the demon from DC Comics that speaks in rhymes. Thank you. Jesus.
And like, not even a sense of meaning. That's giving it too much credit.
Assad is the chemical weapons guy. Let me just say this. Assad is the chemical weapons guy. And Vaush debated a guy who denied that Assad did the you know the names though because of people like Lucy, Dylan, and Sunday. I see Glitchmaster. Are those the streamers that you watch? Lucy, Dylan, and Sunday. Yes! It was Jackson Hinkle. Yes! Yes! That is the person. Jackson Hinkle. It was indeed Jackson Hinkle, the president of Sudan. That's denied these things. And debated Vaush. That's right. Jackson Hinkle, the president of Sudan. That's right. I wonder when Jackson Hinkle became the president of Sudan. That's okay. Yes, they're in order of my favorite streamers. So yeah, so your order of favorite streamers is me, Dylan Burns, and then President Sunday? Is that the order of business? Sometimes watch Vosh and enjoy Demon Mama and Riverboat Jack. I should talk to Riverboat Jack. I've been trying to. You know what? We're gonna do a stun lock. We're gonna do a big fat stun lock, okay? True. Like, it's fine not to know who these people are, but don't pretend to be an expert on, I don't know, foreign affairs if you don't know these things, right? But we're gonna do a stun lock. Hello, Greater Ain't. So my question, I had a question. I forgot my question. I had a question to chat. It's a stun lock. A great question. Oh yeah, there wasn't a question. Okay, maybe I will. I will form it as a question. What are the streamers you think I should talk to? A stunlock is when I do, technically speaking, a segment about something, but I just stop doing the thing that I'm supposed to talk about and start talking about something totally different. That's basically a stunlock. So that's my question. Who are the other streamers that I should talk to? Name them. And then I will tell you either I've already talked to that person or let's give it a try. That's right, which is something that I do very, very often. I get stuck on tangents very, very, very often. So this is my tangent. This is my tangent right now. What streamers do you think I should talk to? And like that's you could talk with Dylan about Ukraine. Already talked to Dylan Burns. Got you there, didn't I? Already talked. And from that talk was born my permanent warning on my YouTube channel. That's right. I already talked to Dylan Burns. People probably have no idea that I already talked to Dylan Burns 1 year ago. Over 1 year ago. And the biggest thing that I got from that talk was my permanent warning on YouTube. That I still have as a trophy of my talk from over 1 year ago about Ukraine and Poland. So that talk already happened. So who else can I talk to? I have not talked to Riverboat Jack. See? You probably don't even know. You probably didn't even know that on my channel there's a VOD of me talking to Dylan Burns. Huh? You don't even know. You didn't even know. Have a boy meets me update us on India. I mean, I did ask them to come on, but sadly that has not materialized. Chat is delayed as heck? Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't be. Oh wait, something's wrong with my internet. Maybe that's why. My internet seems to be slow. I'm a bad viewer. Well, to be fair, it's an obscure video from when I was much smaller. And possibly still a VTuber. Is that one girl who talks to Destiny? I forgot her name, but she's in Ukraine, I'm pretty sure. Or would that be like across enemy lines? Wait, what girl? Who are you talking about? One girl who talks to Destiny? I forgot her name. She's in Ukraine? Who are you referring to? Honestly, if you could talk to Loner again, that would be pretty good. I've already talked to Lonerbox twice. Twice I've talked to Lonerbox. Debated him twice, and won twice. I scored 2 victories against Lonerbox. It's true. You probably don't believe me, but it's true. Ukrainian Anna, we've spoken to twice. In fact, we still DM. We should meet up when I go back. Yes, her. Well, I've spoken to her twice. There should be 2. There should be 2 videos of me speaking to her on Lucy's channel. Okay? I've spoken to her twice. We had 2 conversations with Anastasia. We've talked about us being Slavs and stuff. Destiny talks to many women. Who are you referring to? Anavoir? Lav? Destiny spoke to many women. If you're Slav, talk to Life of Boris. I'm from Poland. Didn't you know? The toiletist. I'm from Poland. I live in Poland. Called out? Who called out? Who? Who what? Who got called out? So, who else have I talked to? No, I just met you today. Ah, okay. I'm from Poland. I'm the biggest Polish trans streamer who also happens to be Jewish. So, who else do you want me to talk to? You want me to talk to Destiny? I've spoken to Lonerbox. And Lonerbox and Destiny are on a trip together now. In Israel. So maybe I should talk to Destiny. Feels like I've spoken basically to everybody except for Destiny. I think I have lag today. Because... Oh no, wait. Never mind. My chat settings are all screwed up. That's my bad. Chat is gonna be screwy today because I did not click a thing that makes it less delayed. So yeah, it's gonna be delayed, I'm afraid. Wait, what's opening up a can of worms? Talking to Destiny? Oh, them going to Israel. Well, you know, it happens. It happens to the best of us. We all go to Israel sometimes. You know? So maybe I should. You should divorce Habibabi. If you donate $200, if you donate $200, I will divorce Destiny in a big flashy way. I will do a whole, I don't know, flashy divorce arc. I was gonna go to Israel. I think you should be scared of Lucille. I'm not even sure if he's ever heard of me, to be honest. Okay, stunlock after a stunlock. Although you still haven't told me what streamers I should talk to, but do you think Destiny even knows who I am? Yes or no in the chat. I don't think he does, to be quite honest. I believe that he probably does not even know who I am. Even though technically speaking, a lot of people from this whole streaming thing might know who I am. Lonerbox knows who I am. And he's pretty close to Destiny now. At least in proximity. Right? Right? Right. Perfect. What about $1 million? You wanna you wanna donate $1 million to me for me to divorce Destiny? Wow. Nobody's buying into my tangents. Let's just continue watching the video. The audience is not very receptive to my charms today.
It puts them into a flow. And it's not even the idea of Stephen Bennell. It's not even that. It's not even that. It's the idea
I
of
just found 5 hryvnia, which is almost a subway ride in Kyiv, which costs 8 hryvnia.
them in his spot. Because the people who watch him imagine them being the cool debate person who's just owning everybody.
Wait, I'm the cool person that is owning everybody. Oh, thank you.
And the problem is that the people who are doing that don't know what that looks like. So the only thing that they need to see in order to be satisfied is Stephen at a table. And so they are satisfied by Stephen at a table. And what they are excited for is Stephen at a table. And so what do? They go in hordes, hundreds of people, into chats all over the place where they have no connection with anybody else for whatever reason. And they just say, bring Stephen on, talk about Stephen. Why do you hate Stephen? Debate Stephen. That's it. It's weird, actually.
People should do that, but for me. But it's true, we love you. Thank you. Thank you. I do like feeling loved. Good evening, Lucy. Hello, the Dark Canuck. Just talking about what streamers I should talk to. So feel free to give me suggestions as to what streamers I should talk to build bridges, to build big coalitions, to build a big audience, and debate. Because I'm the master debatrix. Master debatrix. Debatrix, yes. That's right. Wait, I just gave the link to the page, and instead of people going from YouTube to the page, people went from the page to YouTube. What's up with that? I just don't know. The lag, Lucy. I'm sorry. I screwed up the setting for the chat. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. But that's the charm. That's the charm of today's stream, okay? The charm of today's stream is that... Thank you! Oh, Barry! Thank you for the $10. Thank you. Thank you. You're making my life easier. And you're making, you know... You're donating to a good goal, okay? You're donating to a really good cause. Who knows? Maybe if I get some donations, I'll even be able to stream from Ukraine somehow. Because I have no equipment. I only have this computer, which I was given. And when it comes to my interviews... You know what sophisticated equipment I use for interviews with people in Ukraine? I use this. I use the phone. And this phone, I don't even have a microphone for the phone. So I use this as my interview. I've done all of the interviews with at the protests, the farmer protests, using this. I usually come up to people during those crazy far-right protests and are like, would you like to talk to the phone? Would you like to talk to here? And some people say, no. And some people say, hell yeah. The funniest people were like the two ladies who were like, wait, lady. They actually called me lady, so that's a plus for them. But they said, wait, lady. Are you right wing? Are you right wing? Because if you're not right wing, then no, we don't want an interview. So are you right wing? I was like, I really don't want to say I'm right wing. So I said, centrist. And then they said, no, centrist is not good enough. You have to be right wing, so we won't. We're not talking to you. Centrist is not good enough. Centrist does not cut it. It does not meet our specific specifications. I'm funny? No. There was a thing. I'm just saying it how it happened. I'm just reporting on what happened during a far-right rally. There were quite a few nice things in Kiev, by the way. There was this mural. was this mural of, do you know the game Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon something West? My awkwardness? I'm awkward? No, I'm not awkward. It's like, am I awkward? Am I really awkward? It's okay. Some people just need to be awkward for others to feel more confident and not awkward. You know how it is. Some of us are awkward for other people not to be awkward. You know? It's just, it is how it is. It is what it is. And Forbidden West. Yes. So on the subway in Kiev, you know how there's this tunnel that you go through to get to a subway station. And the entire tunnel was this big mural of Horizon Forbidden West on both sides while we're at it. So I filmed it. So I might show it. It's a really cool mural of Horizon Forbidden West. You know, really cool. There were some really cool murals of that game in Kiev. So I might show that at some point. When I was recording the mural with my phone, even some people were going by and were like, people in Kiev are really nice. I think we're like 3 layers deep into a tangent now. Tangent within a tangent within a tangent within a tangent. Yeah, but Ukraine has something special. I have this subway station. It's called Arsenalna. It's the subway station from which I usually go to most places. You can go to the Holodomor Museum there, and by extension you can go to the Mother Ukraine statue that's there. You can go to, I think, also the Maidan monument. And Arsenalna basically means arsenal. And Arsenalna happens to be the deepest subway station in the world. It is the deepest situated subway station in the entire world. Isn't that cool? It's really deep. You go through one super long stairs in Ukraine. You go through one super long stairs, then you take a few steps, and then you go through another super long stairs. Ukraine. Ukraine has the deepest subway station in the world. Which happens to be my favorite Kiev subway station. It's really nice. And a ride on the subway is really cheap. 8 hryvnia. Always go to the machine. I insert 8 hryvnia, and I get this little paper ticket to scan and to go in and to take the subway and to explore the city and to go to all the cool organizations to talk to. Like when I went to the org that makes the camouflage outfits for the soldiers. And I even did some assembling myself. for about 3 hours or more even of volunteer work for the army. All the pacifists have left the chat hearing that. Ukraine has a pretty nice subway system. It's bigger than Polish. Kyiv has 3 subway lines. Warsaw so far has 2. And it's not as deep. The Warsaw subway system is not as deep as the Ukrainian one. So it would not be a very good bomb shelter. And the Kyiv subway is a very good bomb shelter because it's so deep. So when there is bombing, sirens, bombing, you can go to the subway and hide. It's a sure bet to sort of be safe because of how deep these subway stations are. Isn't that cool? Isn't that interesting? Apparently those subway stations were they were built to survive the nuclear winter, so I guess that makes sense for them to be so deep, doesn't it? Damn. So many white names today. So many white names. Okay, never mind. Okay, let's go back to President Sunday because we've done tangent upon tangent upon tangent, and I feel that people are fed up. I feel like people are fed up with me now.
It's really weird, and the reason why
it is weird.
This works. It's twofold. One, it's psychological terrorism because now somebody thinks, "Oh my God, look, there's this wave of people." Nobody in the real world actually knows who's.
White names can also mean new viewers, right? Yes, white names can indeed mean new viewers, but unfortunately, I recognize all the white names in the chat, so no, they're not new viewers. Unfortunate as it is, I recognize all of the white names in the chat, so they cannot be new viewers.
Stephen is, like, truly. He only pops up briefly to be ridiculed by people higher up, because otherwise he isn't really taken seriously. In fact, he's not taken seriously at all. If you want to have a sense of just how like far down on the chain YouTubers are generally, but this is one of the biggest ones, and there's nothing there, like truly nothing there. Completely laughed at in the academic field. Yeah, but if you're in the academic field and you want an internet presence, Destiny can get you that on the cheap, or at least that's the perception. So the reason why people who aren't like the losers who just jump into chats, like plugging him constantly, and you know the type because we've all talked to them. They're insufferable, and like truly worthless. But we've all seen them. But there are people who aren't. And the reason why those people like swim around him, and the reason why other people will invite him on is because it's like, okay, so you got to.
That is true. The fact that I can recognize the names in the chat means that there are people that come back to watch the stream, so that's a plus.
Captive audience here, cool. We're gonna boost our exposure for a little while with this exchange. Just because of that specific traffic. I mean, obviously, like I'm explaining, like you understand how the media works, but it's literally it. It's mid-sized people hungry for crumbs. That's 100% all of
I'm
it.
hungry for crumbs. Although I would also like to eat a full sandwich, so. Lucy, should we be seeing President Sunday too? Or yes, you should be seeing President Sunday. Nice. Well spotted. Well caught. You should be, in fact, seeing President Sunday, yes. I'm so in love with my own self that I decided that instead of President Sunday, you'll be seeing me. But yes, well spotted.
It's small scale, small timers who are really, really hungry to add an additional third onto their size, and they think I can make that happen with this exchange. Never actually works that way. It doesn't stick.
I can make that happen, even though I've never interacted with Destiny ever. But that's why I'm small and unsuccessful. Maybe I should.
Because this is a cult of personality. They don't actually move on to other people. It's the other way around. And it will never matter that every single thing that he says is either made up, wrong, or a lie. Because that's not what it's about. It's not about him being good at debating. It's not about him being on the side of truth. It's not about him being accurate or smart. It's a social club. That's it.
Damn.
It's exactly the same as when you
What's
have people
wrong with-
rabidly defending Keffels.
What's wrong with having a social club? I do like social
Exactly the same. It's just about him. No, it's not. It's about the audience. He doesn't matter. Like he's a wreck. Nobody cares about him truly. Like
Damn, that's so
nobody
sad.
felt for him when his wife left him. Nobody worries about his health. Nobody cares about him.
Jesus. that's so-
He's a foil. He's a foil for the worst kind of
Jesus. Do people care about me? Will people be sad when I get divorced?
person that you
Steven?
know, to vicariously LARP as what they think an intelligent person looks like, and to see them win, but they don't know what
Yeah,
winning
it's a
looks
good
like
game.
either. And so, what you're observing, it's a really bizarre spectacle of just this person who's going from debate to debate to debate, and doing terribly every single time, and then on that basis getting more debates. It's very strange. I feel like back in the day,
Street
people only
Fighter
liked him,
3,
subbed to him
where
because he was
it's like-
shocking and edgy. No, I think people subbed and liked him. I mean, like maybe at one point, yeah. Like back when he was like just transitioning from like a StarCraft streamer to like doing political debates. But I think the main thing is he was one of the earlier lefty people who had like a
True.
really
I'll
aggressive
kick the
debating style, very masculine aggressive debating style that took on some very large figures on like issues of like racism and sexism, etc. And compared to them, did a fairly good job. But these weren't high-level debates. These were effectively like freestyle conversations with no moderation, where they just ranted at each other, and one person was able to assert dominance via a particular speaking style. And if you
I will assert dominance.
if you like the position that he's advocating for, you're kind of cool with that. JonTron's a bad guy with bad ideas. It's a good thing if he gets bullied.
True.
Until all of a sudden, this now becomes a funnel for a tremendous amount of capital, and this person doesn't actually stand for you in the long run. They stand for themselves, and they see their business interests in the other direction. Now you got a bit of a problem. This is the problem with people like Vosh and Destiny and Keffels, etc. Effectively, what you're doing is you are investing massive amounts of social and material capital into individuals who have demonstrated zero actual investment in your movement, and instead you're praying that they will continue to like you guys enough to stay on side, and they won't.
Damn. So that was it. That was the President Sunday talking to you why Destiny does not like you. What do you think? Okay, that's enough. Enough video games. Too many. I play too many video games. I'm just kidding. I don't play nearly enough video games. Should play more video games actually. But that's not the point. That's not the point of this little thing. Okay, we've watched it. What do you think? What did you think? Are you ready to launch my little LGG How does that sound? LGG. The LGG is toxic and aggressive and attacks everybody that does not agree with Lucy. The LGG will get you. The LGG will get into your chat. And I think I have one of the least toxic communities on the entire internet. I'll be right back. I have to take estrogen in another form. Gel form. I'll be right back. In the meantime, you write in the chat who I should talk to. Hello, hello. I'm very toxic. No, you're not. Lucy has talked to everyone. I've actually not talked to everyone. So I've actually objectively not talked to everyone. So yes. I have very objectively not talked to everyone. So who should I talk to? Name names so that I can harass them right now. Oh wait, there's this person that I was supposed to talk to. Who was it? Our history. Oh, the toiletist has joined the giggle chord. Welcome to the pond. Would you like to talk now? So no. I've definitely not talked to everyone. I've talked to the opposite of everyone. Wait, no, I've not talked to the opposite of everyone, but because that would be no one, and that would be a lie. Okay, let's watch the Russian state TV. My favorite TV. My favorite TV, especially when they react to events. Like Trump being convicted. I want to see how the Russian media, state media, have reacted to Trump being convicted. And I bet you are too. I bet you're curious about that too. So without further ado, we're gonna see now.
Трампу может грозить
Trump may be facing 136 years in prison. No, he may not. I'm sorry, no. That's just silly. That is a silly thing to say. That's just, yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, for sure. Trump will spend 136 years in prison. For sure.
136 лет тюрьмы.
1 billion years in prison, in fact. That's Trump's sentence. That is what Trump is facing. For sure.
4 года за
4 years for every one of 34 counts.
каждый из 34 пунктов. Но решение
This decision will be made by a judge, not the jury.
будет выносить судья, а не присяжные. Приговор объявят 11
Sentencing will take place on July 11th.
июля. Аккурат перед съездом
Immediately before the Republican convention.
Республиканской партии, который пройдет 15
That will take place in Milwaukee on July 15th.
июля в Милуоки,
I love how I first said Julie and now I said July. Just to mess with everybody's heads.
где Трампа официально номинируют
Trump will be officially nominated
в качестве
from
кандидата
prison
в президенты от республиканской
as a
партии.
presidential
Байден,
candidate from the Republican Party. Biden is likely uncorking champagne, but he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
наверное, открывает шампанское. Впрочем, это он зря. Трамп,
According to American laws,
согласно американскому законодательству, может избираться даже и
Trump can run for president even while in prison. Oh my god.
с камеры, пребывая в тюрьме.
Yeah, because for sure. I'm sorry. I've heard some nonsense being spoken by Russian state TV, but to claim that Trump will even sniff a prison cell. Now that's funny. Poland's looking okay-ish. Donald's show trial is not over yet. Show trial.
Там судилище над Дональдом еще не закончено. Нью-Йоркский суд
The New York trial is one of the 4 criminal cases against Donald. Yeah. I mean, that depends. Depends on who and what foreigners.
судебный процесс, первый из 4 уголовных дел против Дональда. Всего бывшему
The former president is facing at least 88 charges.
президенту предъявлено как минимум 88 обвинений в Джорджии,
88. In Georgia, Washington, and Florida.
Вашингтоне и Флориде. На
Exciting the court building, Donald stated. Exiting. Exciting court. Exiting the court building, Donald stated.
выходе из здания суда Дональд заявил, что вердикт присяжных позор
At the verdict of the jury is a shame for America.
для Америки, а суд был устроен администрацией
The trial was organized by the Biden administration.
Байдена. Также Трамп
Trump also said he will continue to fight
сказал, что продолжит сражаться не только за
not only for the Constitution of the United States.
Конституцию США, но и за
Didn't he say some time ago that he would just screw the Constitution if he won, and now he's fighting for it?
всю
But also for all of America that is going to hell.
Америку, которая катится в ад. Назвал себя
He called himself a political prisoner. I'm a political prisoner who was just convicted in a rigged political witch hunt trial. That's funny.
политзаключенным и попросил спонсоров его
And he asked his sponsors to support him.
поддержать. Желающих было
There were so many willing people.
настолько много, что сайт Дональда
That Donald's website even crashed.
даже рухнул.
Жюри присяжных суда Манхэттена признало Трампа
A Manhattan jury convicted Trump on all charges.
виновным по всем пунктам обвинения.
Donald Trump became the first American president.
Дональд Трамп стал первым американским
That's a record broken.
президентом, виновным в уголовном преступлении.
Convicted of a felony.
Жюри признало Трампа
Jury found Trump guilty of all 34 counts.
виновным по всем 34 пунктам обвинения, связанных с
Related to the falsification of business records. That is
подделкой деловой отчетности с целью сокрытия
to
сговора
conceal the conspiracy.
по влиянию на результаты выборов
To
2016
influence the outcome of the 2016 election.
года.
It's a rigged.
Это подстроенное дело, это позор.
They wouldn't give us a venue.
Они не дали нам поменять место проведения заседания. В этом округе у нас
We're at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area.
поддержка 5-6%. Это было подстроено.
It was a rigged, disgraceful trial.
Позорное дело. Настоящий вердикт 5 ноября
Real
вынесен
verdict is going to be November 5th by the people.
американский.
Outside of court,
На улице возмущенные и
Because outside of court there were appalled voices and cheers.
радостные возгласы.
We'll save you, Donald! I love this. I really love how people reacted to Donald Trump being convicted. We'll save you, Donald. We'll save you. We'll save you. It's like, That's great. Now that is great entertainment. Jesus. We'll save you, Donald. We'll save you. We'll save you, Donald. We'll save you, Donald. We'll save you, Donald. What the hell is that? The fuck? The fuck? It's like a donkey sound thing.
Тише, ребят, отойдите, не заслоняйте проход. Вы нас провоцируете.
Спикер Палаты
Oh, Mike Johnson issued a statement.
представителей Майк Джонсон выпустил заявление, которое очень похоже на
This is very similar to statements by other Republicans.
заявление других республиканцев. Он заявил,
The weaponization of our justice system
использование нашей системы правосудия в качестве оружия является
has been a hallmark of the Biden administration,
визитной карточкой администрации Байдена, и сегодняшнее решение
and the decision today is further evidence
является очередным доказательством того, что демократы не
that Democrats will stop at nothing.
остановятся ни перед чем, чтобы подавить инакомыслие
Silence, dissent, and crush their political opponents.
и сокрушить своих политических оппонентов.
Ну, к эскалации вернемся. Все-таки
We'll back to discussing an escalation.
надо тут понять,
We have to realize whom we are dealing with.
с кем мы имеем дело. Я думаю, что какой-то
I think this is some kind of a civilizational conflict.
цивилизационный уже конфликт. Знаете, это
True.
какой-то позор вообще.
As Schwonder said, this is a shame.
Как говорил Швондер, вот американский
American president is in litigation with a porn actress.
президент судится с порноактрисой. Но это
What else could you come up with?
вот что-то еще придумать сложно. Знаете.
He looked so pleased. He looked so pleased.
Порноактрисой.
She looks so pleased as well. They all look so amused. Jesus.
Че он не удовлетворен?
Did he fail to satisfy her or what? Is that the what? I felt like what? Of all the things that the Russian media could say, of all the things, I must admit I did not see that coming. Did he fail to satisfy her or what is the problem? I don't think that's the problem. I'm not sure. Trump has been charged, convicted on 34 charges of on failing to satisfy the porn actress. What? Oh God. Yes, that is exactly what the problem was. He failed to satisfy her.
Удовлетворил он ее, или какие проблемы-то вообще были, понимаете? И они на полном
Their entire country is discussing this case
серьезе, всей страной
in all seriousness.
это дело обсуждают. Ну вот просто прям вот
Really?
реально. Я, конечно, понимаю, что в
I
каждой
realize that every country has its idiots,
стране есть свои идиоты. Ну, чтобы у
but here idiots have their own country. Jesus.
идиотов была своя собственная страна, я вот вижу это впервые. Это
This is my first time seeing this. It's a historic first.
новое в истории реально. Ну, вот как-то вот
Our whole country is looking at this. Oi, oi, oi.
так, наверное. И вся страна смотрит на это.
Why is she making this face with the tongue and everything? What Why? Why is she making that face?
Действительно, вот, да, действительно,
The whole country is looking at.
ой-ой-ой.
Oi, oi, oi. What is going on?
Что
А
происходит?
судья Трампа жертвует
Trump's judge donated money to Biden's campaign.
деньги на кампанию Байдена. И это тоже ничего
That's also no big deal.
страшного.
Да, и,
It happens.
Ну,
ну,
с кем не бывает.
да. А что не так?
What's wrong with that?
Образец демократии. Если
A model of
вы
democracy.
хотите вот это, то,
If this is what you want, here you go.
пожалуйста, ну пускай будет это.
А вот вы представьте,
Imagine if this happened in Russia. I mean, I don't have to imagine this happening in Russia because in Russia, the election is a decided thing from beginning to end. So, yeah, that certainly would not happen in Russia. That's correct.
в России, да, предположим, вот вдумайтесь,
An absolute leader of public opinion.
лидер общественного, абсолютный лидер общественного мнения,
Who leads in his ratings, not rantings, rantings.
лидирующий в рейтингах.
I apologize, I just cannot read today.
Первое место,
The first place in the presidential polls.
значит, в президентских опросах.
Yeah, you're gonna talk about that happening in Russia, where presidential polls are basically meaningless because we all know what candidate will win.
Лидер главной оппозиционной силы.
The main opposition leader. Okay. Who's the main Russia opposition leader? Who's the equivalent, Mr. Russia TV guy? Imagine that happening in Russia. It having an actual opposition. Facing decades in prison on ridiculous... Oh yeah! Russia of all places, is going to complain about a leader of the opposition being decades in prison on ridiculous charges. Russia of all places is going to complain about that. Okay, that's pretty interesting. That is something. That is something.
Таким смехотворным обвинением, значит, грозят ему там десятками годов тюрьмы. Что бы было в Америке?
How would they react in America?
Мы тут все ванговали, что большинством
That there wouldn't be a majority vote to convict him.
его не осудят.
Предполагал,
It was assumed, like Newsweek said.
Осудили.
You're insinuating the Russian state is corrupt, among other things.
Предполагалось, что будет не осуждение, не соответственно по вероятности того же самого
It was assumed, like Newsweek said,
Ньюсвика, не осуждение,
there would not be a consensus to convict
не соответственно обвинение, а будет либо несовпадение,
due to a hung jury. The trial would be postponed.
либо частичное, либо, соответственно, перенос судебного производства. Кстати говоря,
By
Трамп,
the way, Trump is apparently planning to appeal
судя по всему, попытается делать апелляции как раз именно на
on procedural grounds.
процессуальную составляющую. И там тоже оценивается вероятность,
The probability of delaying the process
насколько можно будет, соответственно, этот процесс отодвинуть. Вот.
is being considered.
Поэтому с этой точки зрения, как
Просто
бы,
вот все, что надо
That's all you need to know about the information level
знать информированности тех,
of those making these predictions.
кто строит эти прогнозы.
это надо
Говорили,
всё-
так не
He said it wouldn't happen, but it happened.
случится, случилось.
Oh,
Ну,
no.
это, я напоминаю,
Let me remind you, this was the position
общая позиция рынка американского была. То есть, как бы
of the entire American market.
все граждане США считали так,
This is what all American citizens believed en masse.
в массе своей. Это говорит
What?
о том, что это приводит к
This will lead to significant changes.
серьезным изменениям. Почему? Сегодня Bloomberg
Today, Bloomberg made the following statement.
Собственно говоря, основная составляющая приводит, там говорит о следующем. Происходит мобилизация электората.
Shit happens, да,
Shit happens.
знаменитое
A
американское
famous American expression. It happens.
выражение. Так бывает.
Это очень серьезная
It is a very serious collision
такая коллизия, которая самих ставит вот
that puts Americans,
этих американцев, Deep State, да, который ведет, собственно, эту
the deep state that is waging this war,
войну, перед очень серьезным, действительно
in a place where the stakes go up.
настоящим поднятием ставок. Одно дело помотать
It's one thing to play on Trump's nerves right now,
Трампу нервы сейчас, да, оттянуть всю ситуацию там до
drag out the situation until the verdict.
переговора, потом будет апелляция какая-то,
Then there will be some kind of an appeal.
дать там какой-то срок, в конце концов выпустить. С другой стороны,
Sentence him to something, then let him out.
другой вариант, это
Another option is to imprison the most popular man.
все-таки действительно по-настоящему самого популярного
He
человека.
will not be imprisoned. I'm sorry, Trump is not going to jail. Let's not even
Человека
pretend.
засадить. И это
This may not only discredit American institutions,
действительно может привести, ну, не только к дискредитации американских институтов, но и к очень
but cause very severe unrest and even civil war.
серьезным волнениям. И, да,
Civil war, I don't know. What's that Tim Pool's wet dream come true? That would be.
даже гражданской войне. Если это к гражданской войне не
If this does not lead to civil war,
приведет, то это будет означать
this would mean a new era of the American society.
новый этап вообще американского
Новый этап. The most popular man, neither Trump or Biden have high ratings. Well, you know.
Общества, эволюции,
I
скажем.
know how the person that I've interviewed in Ukraine looked at me awkwardly and asked if the US does not have younger and more competent candidates to put forward, even though it's such a big country. It's evolution to a totalitarian regime. Oh yeah, because Russia is like the paragon. It's evolution to a totalitarian regime.
Скажем, вот, эволюции от ну, по сути дела, тоталитарному режиму, когда самого популярного
And the most popular man in the land is imprisoned.
человека в стране сажают, когда нарушаются вообще все там нормы, какие только можно, их, на которых держалась прежняя их система.
Violated.
Это,
We'll
по
be
сути дела,
dealing
мы
with
будем
an absolutely new America, more like Russia.
иметь
I
дело.
find it so interesting. I find it so funny that Russia, of all places, is talking about the U.S. becoming a dictatorial regime.
С абсолютно новой Америкой, и это Америка
Nova America. You can call this America an absolutely fascist nation.
действительно можно ее назвать будет просто по-настоящему фашистским государством.
Сам Дональд называет себя политиком.
Donald calls himself a political prisoner. Donald calls himself like it's so funny. It's like Donald. It's like they're buddies. Donald. Which also happens to be the name of the Polish Prime Minister, Donald Tusk. It's a review of a game funded by the Russian government and that tries to copy The Witcher 3, but it's set in Russia during the 1600s. Oh wow, we gotta watch this. An RPG, right?
Политическим
I am
заключенным
interested. I am so interested.
пикантности момента добавляет тот
The
факт,
Witcher 3.
что приговор должен быть озвучен 11 июля, а 15 июля
Is that the verdict should be announced on July 11th?
Дональда или не Дональда
Tusk, yes, that's right, not Tusk.
должны номинировать на пост кандидата от республиканской. партии именно на этот день назначен съезд республиканской партии. Очевидно, демократы
The Democrats are obviously betting
делают ставку на то, что пойдет в президенты не
that Trump won't be the presidential candidate. True.
Трамп. Мы вернемся.
We'll be back. That is just amazing. So that's the future. Trump will be locked in prison for 130 years or something. America will have a civil war, and then, if not, it will devolve into a fascist nation dictatorship. And Russia is totally none of that. That's the lesson learned from this little clip. That's the lesson. That's perfect. Jesus Christ. Jesus. It's just... Ding ding. Oh boy. Oh boy. So there you have it. If you live in the US, then prepare for a dictatorship, because Daddy Trump got arrested for 1 billion years and civil war is coming. Tim Pool is preparing his hat. His Civil War hat. Or I don't know, prepare for a fascist nation. Either way, it's going to be interesting. And Russia's there for it. Next, we're going to be watching Mr. Finkelstein. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? What is your opinion on that? That's right, Glitchmaster. I'm gonna watch Finkelstein now. Okay. So that's where we are. This is where we are. So what now? Vote with your wallets. Vote with your wallets. Video game or Finkelstein? Or also, do you know who Finkelstein? Yeah, that's right, more Finkelstein. Because apparently Finkelstein cannot get enough of being silly. And I'm here for it. Vote! Come on! For once. Do it for me and for once vote. You know? Oh yeah, I will! That's right, I will watch the video of the game. You're right. Okay, let's do it. Also, I'm gonna... begging. Boom! It's on! It's on! It's on! It's on! It's on! Hold on. Oh. How do you like the artwork? How do you like the artwork? Hold on, I have to. Why can't I find it? So annoying. Where is the greater range artwork when I need it? I got too much graphic. Hold on.
Oh, Barry!
Oh! Tier 2? Oh my god, thank you for the tier 2 subscription. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Hold on, I'm just gonna do this. It worked! It worked! It worked. Okay. You crave my arts? I do. I do crave your arts. You're the main artist of this. Okay, let's watch. Let's watch the game. Gosh darn. Warlocracy. It did? Yes. Okay, let's watch.
Boris, we have a problem. Foreign megacorporations like the Polish CD Projekt Red, the creators
Wow, he pronounced it in like Polish and stuff. CD Projekt.
of the Witcher game
Projekt being like the word for project.
and the Czech Warhorse Studios are corrupting our children's minds. They are promoting liberalist agenda and probably Russophobia as well. Well, not
True. True, I should play more Witcher. Witcher, I'm gonna give a take, okay? If you're not playing Witcher with the Polish dubbing, you're doing something wrong. You're playing the game wrong if you're playing it with not with the Polish. I'll have up my tier on my payday. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very, very much.
on my watch. All that is necessary for evil to succeed
Whoa.
is for good men to do nothing. I am putting together a team. Siberia Nova, a game developer from the town of Uyar, Russia.
GGG. Or Ukrainian? Who knows? Uyar.
never actually made a video game, but at least one of their employees worked on the 1998 CRPG classic Rage of Mages.
What? What? I've never heard of this game before. The what? The what classic? Rage of Mages? Have you ever heard of Rage? Okay, who in the chat has ever heard of Rage of Mages from 1998? Because I've not heard of this ever. I've never heard of the Rage of Mages. I have to. Never heard of it. Rage of Mages. What a title, though. Rage of Mages. I don't know why I find this title so funny. Rage of Mages. Rage as Mages. Rages, Mages, Rages. Rages, Mages, Rage. I wasn't born. It doesn't matter if you were born. Okay, Estelle. Have you heard of Fallout? Have you ever heard of Fallout 1? Let's see what year. Have you ever heard of Fallout 1? Yes, you have. And it's from 1997. Okay. I've never heard of the Rage of Mages. Exactly. Exactly. You have heard of Fallout, but you've not heard of Rage of Mages. Thank you. Rage of Mages.
That's good enough for me. The plot of our anti-Russophobic game will be based on the book Yuri Miroslavsky or Russians in 1612. Authored by Mikhail Zagorskin, the book is described as Russia's first historical novel of the Walter Scott type. It was first published around 200 years ago. The hero of the novel and of the game, the titular Yuri Miroslavsky, is a boyar, a member of feudal nobility, just a tier below prince. Zagorskin was criticized for not being a trained historian, so we need a proper historical consultant on our team. Enter Timofey Shevyakov, former editor-in-chief of the anti-NATO news agency and the
Wow, that's amazing.
author of the book Chronicles of the Information War. Shevyakov is associated with the pro-government hacker group Hell's Brigade, famous for feuding with the Russian opposition figure Alexei Navalny. So who is Hell the Hacker? Let's see. According to prosecution witnesses, listed as unemployed in Germany, eventually getting a job in technical support, fired for watching porn at work. The brilliant hacker
Just watching. Yeah, exactly. You're just proving my point further, okay? You're just proving my point further. Yes, there is no Rage of Mages 4. That's right. That's right. There is no Rage of Mages 4. I wonder why. Huh. I wonder why there's no Rage of Mages 4. This is a YouTuber called Wildocracy. I played this side, you don't have to. Babe, wake up. New Eastern European lore dropped. So Yuri, how did you end up sympathizing with the rebels? Well, you see, back in the Bronze Age.
Managed to infect the office network with porn site viruses.
IT worker infected office computers with porn site viruses. Of course, that is what you do. Hello, IT. Have you tried infecting you with porn viruses? Oh my god. This story is getting better and better by the second. I'm so glad I've been recommended this video.
Everything about this is perfect. We have our team, and we have a story.
The A-team. The dream team.
But video game production ain't free, so we need...
Okay, I'm gonna go grab a drink. Who hasn't done that? Exactly. Who has not infected their office computers with porn site viruses? May those people cast the first stone, okay? Lage of Mages. Or Lage on Mages. This is so great. And we're just 1 minute into the video. Wow. I think this is going to be my best segment ever.
Need funding. The purpose of the Internet Development Institute is to funnel government rubles into online projects. Alexei Gorislavsky, the person in charge, said that the...
So what did the person in charge do? What porn viruses did he spread into the world? This is so amazing. Jesus, is this game available on Steam? The Russian state spends $10 million to make the worst RPG of 2024. Wait, what's the title of that game? I need to play this game. What's the title of the game? I need to play this game. I need to play this game on stream. Wow. I did not expect this stream to be so happy.
Gaming projects the Institute supports could potentially replace imported foreign analogs within 3 to 5 years. It doesn't seem Gorislavsky knows much about video game production. Bad news for the tax.
Jesus Christ. Welcome back to Toiletist. It's perfect that you're back, Toiletist, because this is a real toilet game. So it's up your alley. It's okay. It's okay, I can play it even if it's only in Russian.
Taxpayers.
I will play it in Russian, okay?
News for us. The budget of our game, Smuta, or Troubles, is estimated to be around $5 million by some sources, $10 million by others. So what
I wonder.
does this buy you in Uyar, Siberia? 75 developers on staff and 50 temporary contractors working remotely. Quick Googling tells me that the budget of the Polish Russophobia game Witcher 3 was $81 million.
Uh-oh. I guess Poland's richer than Russia. I suppose that's the only conclusion that I can come to. Oh, yeah. It's the only conclusion that I can come to.
And as you can see, despite the weight class difference, Smuta borrows heavily from the Polish franchise, or at least it tries to. The Line Media
Borrows from the Polish franchise.
says that the game is designed to be an instrument of Russian soft power. But this is not even available in foreign languages yet. You probably can't play this, but that's what
God damn it, I want to play it. I want to play this so bad.
I'm here for. This video is dedicated to Oleg Bilibin, the director of Siberia Nova, cowardly killed by the neo-Nazis from the illegal Belaozersk volunteer battalion under orders from their CIA handlers. And yet, the liberal establishment prefers to remain silent about it, once again showing the hypocrisy of the West. Bilibin might be gone, but the great work continues.
Listen, you must now join this page, White Forest page, and donate some money. Okay?
Old-timers say that never before it has been as bad on our land as during the troubled times. The old Tsar died. There was a bad harvest. Poles and Cossacks invade Boyars.
I'm sorry, Balls and Cossacks invaded? Did I hear that correctly? Balls invaded? Okay, I know it says Poles. But I actually really thought he said balls at first. Balls invaded.
Died. There was a bad harvest during the troubled times. The old Tsar died. There was a bad harvest. Poles and Cossacks invade
Poles and Cossacks
Boyars feud with one another. Out of desperation, the nobles in Moscow invited the Polish Prince Vladislav to rule over them and restore order. This is year 7 of the Troubles. In the game's opening, our hero Yuri,
Polish prince,
who at this stage is working for the pro-Polish faction, rescues his future best friend, the free Cossack Kirsha, from wild animals. The game uses loading screens to feed you historical trivia, usually relevant to whatever is happening in the level. This is how we know that the Tsardom of Muscovy had no roads, that the depths of the ancient forests were still unexplored, and that animal attacks really were a huge problem. Now, I'm not a trained historian, but I've been to quite a few Russian museums, and these interiors look authentic to me. Unfortunately, none of the objects here are interactive. You can't even sit on a bench. Kirsha wants us to do
What the hell?
a sword fighting tutorial. There are light attacks, power attacks, you can block and dodge. I won every single battle in this game by spamming left click and occasionally using the one cooldown based ability Yuri has. This is a
That is such a good battle system.
linear game, a bunch of levels that need to be completed in a sequence. The next place we'll visit is our former home, a settlement governed by the Boyar Kruchina. And this is the RPG system. You gain levels.
Is it an RPG system? It doesn't feel like it so far.
and unlock these slots, and then you put collectible items into the slots for minor bonuses. It's a strangely gamey system for a project with a historical theme. Sneaking is a mechanic. There is a side quest where we eavesdrop on the local holops. A holop is an unfree citizen, property of a boyar, a tier below serf. Kirsha is not a holop, and neither is Yuri.
Holop, probably the Polish equivalent, the equivalent of the Polish chłop.
Our boss Kruchina sends us on an important mission. Many Muscovite nobles swore fealty to the Pole Vladislav, but some individuals...
Very good. You should always, I don't know, I swear loyalty to the Pole. Like to me. I'm a Pole, so you should swear loyalty to me. That's the correct thing to do. That is the correct course of action to always take.
Individuals like Prince Pozharsky from Nizhny Novgorod simply refuse to calm down. They are building an army.
Refuse to calm down.
Our task is to travel to Novgorod.
I so want to play this game. If someone can get me this game.
Infiltrate Pozharsky's militia and find out what they're up to. This is beautiful. Someone should make an RPG in this setting. So it turns out it's impossible to create a AAA game on a budget this small. The developers had to cut corners. This huge-ass city has a total of 4 interactive objects. The drinking pots. You drink...
You know that you could just... whatever. I'm trying to give advice to a Russian game. You could just not try to make it a AAA game. You know, you could work with simpler, more stylized graphics, you know? That could work. That works for many indie studios.
Drink water to replenish HP. That's it. There is nothing else. You can't even talk to the merchants. My theory is that Smuta was designed in this very specific way.
Smuta, that's the title of the game? Smuta? I'm gonna give you a Polish joke. A bardzo smutny tytuł. Because smuta sort of, I guess, means sadness in Polish. To be sad, you say in Polish, smucić się. My apartment has more than 4 interactive objects, and none of them are my fading balls. True.
To get past the government auditor. When Gorislavsky sends someone to check on what is that exactly they are doing with the Institute money, the devs will show them the beautiful locations, the 2D art, the work of professional voice actors.
Oh, I want to hear the professional voice actors.
And not knowing any RPG theory, the auditor will be satisfied. Truly is beautiful, the medium of RPG. We keep inventing new ideas. In this case, a new way of appropriating government funds. Only a small
True.
part of the city is explorable. Approaching the gate teleports us to the main square, where we get to listen to a political speech. It sounds like the actor was recording in a room with bad acoustics. Yuri clearly sympathizes with the rebels, but at this stage he is still loyal to the Polish prince. The Novgorod content is a series of some of the most boring fetch quests I've ever experienced in my life. Talk to a person, run somewhere, talk to another.
This reminds you of when Itchy and Scratchy were replaced by workers in Paris.
Person. The terribleness of this game's writing is interesting. 9 times out of 10, the problem of bad RPG writing is the problem of bloat. A writer uses 40 words to tell a 20-word story. But what we have here is that the individual lines are succinct, but the characters take forever to get to the point, and after they...
Wow. Wowzers trousers.
They just don't stop talking. I imagine this was done to imitate the style of the book, and it didn't work. You can read text much faster than a voice actor can speak. According to an interview, the developers intentionally made the clothing more vibrant than it was historically, an artistic choice, so that the game is more visually interesting. And
Such
here is
historical accuracy. Amazing.
is a politically
But
controversial
basically, Chen Scratchy left Israel and they found an Eastern European cartoon called Worker in Paris.
quest. The rebel army employs foreign mercenaries as engineers and cannoneers, but some of these foreigners are disrespectful towards the locals, and frankly, they should be taught a lesson. But we don't want to seem inhospitable, so we need to provoke them into attacking us first. I've always wanted to ask, is that true that your women are not actually women, but men dressed in women's clothing? And then they say that when no one is looking, one of you bends over in front of the other, like a woman.
Jesus. Transphobia in the Russian game. Who would have guessed?
You are dirt. I'll make you a woman.
What does that even mean?
Perhaps
What does that even mean?
I'm being unreasonably charitable, but I can't tell if the game is making fun of traditional values or promoting them. This Nobel Prize winning publication seems to imply it's the latter. But then, in the very next mission, our protagonist is shown to be absolutely pussy-whipped by a very liberated-looking Polish woman. Help me read the themes on display. An interesting side note, my colleague, a fellow patriot and Voyencore, Big Floppa Z, recently published a peer-reviewed paper, and it seems, based on the accounts of foreign travelers, homosexuality was near ubiquitous among all social classes in Muscovy. The implications of this are staggering. The Anglo-Saxons have been homosexing Russians for centuries. In the next area, I was struck by a realization that all dialogue in this game is redundant. Smuta is extremely quest compass dominant. It doesn't actually matter what the characters say, you just follow the compass, get to a location, fight bad guys, or click on an object. After doing this for about 2 hours, we get to meet Prince Pozharsky, a Russian national hero, one of the more famous ones. Pozharsky is in every history book. A little later, in the rebel war camp, Yuri has a conversation with Kuzma Minin, another important historical figure. Minin and Pozharsky are the Russian Chip and Dale of the Troubles.
Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale.
We can't customize our appearance in Smuta, but we can change our character class, which in This game is called Image. This can be done almost at any time in these field tents. Different classes wear different clothing and use different weapons. We have just unlocked the Strelets image.
Jesus Christ!
The Streltsy are Muscovite firearm infantry, armed with a rifle type of a weapon and a bardish. They also served as cops and firemen. Hanged Man's Tree. This game wants to be Witcher 3 so bad. That's what you'd say if you're an ignorant Russophober. A loading screen helpfully tells us that trees with hanging people were not uncommon, and in fact, they predate Christmas trees. Another feature stolen by the Polish CD Projekt Red was the Yuri Vision, which in their game is called Witcher Vision.
Witcher Vision?
It's not used often. Yuri not uncommon, and in fact, they predate Christmas.
Russian state-funded game.
Christmas trees. Another feature stolen by the Polish CD Projekt Red was the
True! Those thieves from CD Projekt Red.
Yuri Vision, which in their
Yuri Vision.
game is called Witcher Vision. It's not used often in this. The levels are huge, but since they are more or less free of interactive objects, there is little reason to explore.
Why can he pass? You shall not pass. You shall not pass. You shall not pass.
them. But the game is capable of creating unintentional Oblivion-esque comedy. The woman is talking in generic barks, the convulsing man is complaining about the pole.
What the fuck? What?
And the cow generic Oblivion-esque to explore them. But the game is capable of creating unintentional Oblivion-esque comedy.
What the fuck is going on?
The woman is talking in generic barks, the convulsing man is
Generic barks convulsing man.
complaining about the poles, and the cow is just mooing. So, how good is the stuff?
Please stream yourself playing. If I can get my hands on it, I will. I will stream playing this game. That's a promise. If someone gives me this game, wait. No, it's impossible. It's definitely not on Steam. I will check though. Will not stop me from checking. Nothing can stop me from checking. Steam is opening slowly. Okay. While unfortunately, very unpredictably, this amazing game is not on Steam. How unpredictable. How... Wow.
Stealth system. It's okay. This is the closest thing this game has to engaging gameplay. The enemies seem to respect the shadow, and there is a generous delay in their reactions. Boyar from Uyar.
What?
So there are boss fights. I have no idea what the point of this is supposed to be. He is stun locked just as easily as everyone else. You have to click him like 6 extra times. That's the
There's more health.
difference between a boss and a normal enemy. Finally, after hours of fetch questing, Yuri returns to his home village to report to the Boyar Kruchina. Same location, different season. Obviously, Smuta is not a good product, but it is a good idea, you know. Video games can be great cultural ambassadors, and they have a proven history of positive cultural change. Here's a story for you. Back in the early 2000s, a buddy of mine from Magnitogorsk was working on an early indie CRPG project called Wasteland Wolf. But when they tried introducing their game to a foreign audience, on the Black Isle official forums no less, they very quickly encountered a problem. The problem's name was Adolf Hitler. Back then, the Anglophone online culture was dominated by Gen Xers and older millennials. For many of these individuals, Wasteland Wolf was a first contact situation. They have never seen a cultural product from this part of the world before. The idea of a Fallout-like RPG originating from the ex-USSR space was wild, unnatural. They didn't know how to process it, no frame of reference. This created conflict. Posting conflict, the worst kind. Well, I've been told that Russians defeated Hitler, have they not? Perhaps we should ask them for advice. Russian discourse used to be very different from Western, because it wasn't about the right versus the left. Instead, it was about the cops versus the dorks. The cop faction had all the power, but the dork faction had all the brains. You will never defeat our ideas, piggy. Unfortunately, the ideas in question were reverse tankyism and veteran privilege, which is a notion that society pays way too much attention to World War II vets. Needless to say, for our purposes, none of this was helpful or in any way material. The Hitler problem existed because of the lack of exposure, and exposure, through the medium of video games, is what ended up solving it. The Ukrainian Stalker was published in 2007. It was followed by Metro 2033.
Need to play more Stalker.
Developed by a different Ukrainian studio, published in 2010. That game was based on a book by the Russian author Dmitry Gluchovsky. I can only speak for myself and for the communities I was active in, but for me, there was a world before Stalker and the world after. This is how we stopped being foreign, and how Adolf Hitler was banished back to Avernus. In the next chapter, we'll travel to the town of Yaroslavl and deal with the internal conflicts in the rebel army. And by deal, I mean instigate. Ivan Zarutsky is another important historical figure, a leader of the Don Cossacks. Previously, he served false Dmitry II, the impostor on the throne. Pozharsky wants to convince him to join us, but it doesn't look like it's working out. Let's try out a new class. This is the Courtier image. This version of Yuri wields expensive-looking weapons that have very short range. Later I learned that the Courtier class is supposed to be a reward for finishing the story, but in my Uyar Patriot edition it was pre-unlocked. The biggest
I see.
problem in Yaroslavl
Pre-unlocked.
are our Tatar allies, who are a little too powerful and independent. Yuri helps the Tatars in one mission and then stabs them in the back in the next. Vampire
The reward for finishing. Why would you play this game again?
Bloodlines fans might be
Why would you replay this game?
pleased to know that Smuta also has that bug where clothing gets stuck in your character's ass. This really made me feel at home. The main quest wants us to work with Zarutsky in order to undermine the rebels. The protagonist is incapable of saying no. Suck my dick, Pozharsky.
I need to play this game.
Vladi.
I need to get my hands on this game somehow.
Vladislav Liberator. As a reward, Zarutsky unlocks the mercenary image, a Western European warrior type, armed with a musket and a halberd. Yuri says a few words in German to make this feel authentic. Halberd has extra range over a bardish. After taking out a small army of Russians, Yuri suddenly decides he hates murdering people for Zarutsky and threatens to kill the Ataman the next time they meet. I have no idea what Yuri truly believes in. This
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm gonna lie down. Peace. See you. See you, toiletist. I'll see you. Toiletist. Toilet.
This man is a psychopath. If you are trying to be a secret agent, you should probably dress to fit in with the locals.
Probably, but who cares about that?
You know what? I should take my own advice. Irena, if this is her real name, it isn't, sends us on a sneaking mission to a war camp we've already cleared for Zarutsky.
Или ты с девицами?
Are you always this quick with women? After insulting
Yes, I'm a fast shooter.
our manhood, she makes us visit the same camp for the third time. This game is mocking me. The traveling theme is quite good in this. Marina Mniszek was a Polish noblewoman and, until recently, the Queen of Russia, having married False Dmitry I, and then when he was killed, she remarried False Dmitry II. Her ambition is to convert Russia to Catholicism. Previously, the game showed us the Muscovite nationalist point of view, and now we are being introduced to the Catholic opposition. Smuta defenders claim that the game's critics exaggerate its supposed mechanical simplicity. Upon further examination, there are actually all kinds of advanced mechanics, like you can throw rocks to distract bad guys. Russophobers caught lying again. Alas, a tragedy strikes. Yuri's closest friend was killed during an assassination attempt on Pozharsky. We can't keep working for both factions. Pozharsky himself comes to our tent. He knows everything, but Yuri is clearly too stupid to be held accountable for his actions. The rebel leaders send us on a quest to find a local holy man to get him to bless the war effort. I think they just want to get rid of us. The elder lives in the depths of an ancient forest where no man has gone before. That's what the loading screen says. Clearly not true, since there are Poles here. They say they're on their way to rendezvous with the army of
Why
King
can't any Polish people speak Polish in this game?
Sigismund near Smolensk, but that was 3 years ago. Thinking about retiring from politics and war and just buying property here in the forest. We'll be needing a lot of vitamin D supplements, though. Oh my god, Smuta is getting good. This is the alternative future Yuri, who speaks with a slight accent and is Catholic. The two Yuris debate politics, and the Demon Knight actually makes some material arguments. He says that all Muscovites, even the boyars, are ultimately slaves to the Tsar. In comparison, the Polish Szlachta have a lot more rights. There is a fun...
I mean, that is true. That is actually unironically true. Two Yuris do more than what? I don't catch your drift. I don't get it.
Third dimension to this conversation. We are from the future. For real. We know what will happen to the ideas of Minin and Pozharsky in 400 years. Indeed, they have evolved into something else. Those of you who are online,
I know about Yuri.
That is, most of you might be familiar with an Afrocentrist ideology called Hotepism. It's about seeing ancient Egypt as a source of black pride. What you didn't know is that the Muscovites have been cooking their own versions of Hotepism
Co? Za faraona.
For decades now. The most popular of them is the Hotep of Communism, which is about Russians rewriting history to attribute all Soviet accomplishments to themselves. We Russians defeated Hitler, which is true, but, you know, the Ukrainian and Belarusian per capita contributions were even higher. We Russians are the pioneers of space exploration. Also true, even though the leads.
Jesus.
Soviet spacecraft engineer was from Zhytomyr. You get the idea. Among millennials and Gen Xers, there is another popular Hotep, the Hotep of Crackers. Imagine that you were born during the last years of the Iron Curtain. The Soviet lifestyle is discredited. Young people are eager to return to the European family. The problem is that very few of them have actually met a Westerner before, so their idea of Europeans was based on what they read in Soviet textbooks and what they absorbed through pop culture. Russians who subscribe to this ideology see world politics as Vampire the Masquerade IRL. The world is ruled by ancient European families, with the English royal family being the most powerful of them. The funny thing about this brand of Hotepism is that these individuals sometimes take liberal or progressive positions, but not because they believe in egalitarianism, but rather because they see it as a way of communicating their Europeanness. And of course, there are Muscovite conservative philosophers, such as Yegor fucked his daughter, showcasing the national costume. Now, what is Yegor famous for? Actually, it's kind of hard to tell. He believes that in the ancient past, people lived for 900 years.
What?
His philosophical system can be described as a bootleg version of Plato's theory of forms. The idea of Russianness was sent to us by God, and questioning this is a Westoid behavior and possibly Russophobia as well. We must construct additional Russia todays. Fucked his daughter labored on these ideas for 3 decades. He is working with a production crew allegedly paid for by the very same Internet Development Institute. And somehow, despite all that, his YouTube views are in the hundreds, sometimes low thousands. You thought Smuta was a waste of taxpayers' money. Yuri, you could have prevented this. We have failed. We will find another way. Releasing control. Enjoy being a holop to stinky old man forever. The rebel army is about to march on Moscow, but we have unfinished business elsewhere. Boyar Kruchina, our foster father, the schemer. Yuri is reunited with his friend, the Free Cossack Kirsha, the most Zaporizhian man to ever exist. Kirsha speaks with a very authentic Ukrainian accent. Our protagonist intends to solve the Kruchina problem by convincing the man to work with Pozharsky instead of the Poles. But the Boyar makes convincing counter-arguments. The rebellion is a terrible idea. Things need to return to normal as soon as possible. The peasants didn't stockpile enough food. There is a risk of famine. And who will stop the Swedes when they invade again? And how are they planning on electing the new Tsar anyway? The Boyars will be at each other's throats. Yuri will have plenty of time to come up with answers to these questions. No, Anastasia, don't give him the key to the jail cell. You will regret this. This scene made me like Kruchina a lot more. His plan to tear apart the rebel army involves forging correspondence, and it's very clever. Yuri flees to the forest and eventually finds Kirsha's hidden encampment. This is how we unlock the final image. A shish is a Troubles-era peasant freedom fighter. This class has the most exotic weapon selection. We get a hand axe instead of a sword and a throwing axe instead of a pistol. The latter seems to have a shorter cooldown. The axes have extra brutal fatality animations. He's dead, Yuri. The horse is summoned by pressing a key, and it's very useful for navigating the huge empty maps. There is no mounted combat. If you're engaged, it just drops Yuri on the ground and runs away. The big idea for this chapter is building up Kirsha's Shish militia force so that we can eventually strike at Boyar Kruchina's little Kremlin. Some Polish publications wrote about the game, voicing concerns about anti-Polonism. Having played this to completion, I don't think there is anything to worry about. The Polish NPCs are very articulate, they are not portrayed as stupid, they are not caricatures, and for what it's worth, their costumes are some of the best looking in the game. And there is a fun scene where Yuri educates Kirsha, dispelling his ignorant beliefs. No, you silly, the Poles don't actually have dog heads. In fact, for a state-funded project, this story is interestingly open-minded. There have been 1, 2, 3 instances when the game debated the Moscovite ideas, and Yuri didn't seem to have much to say in their defense. That's strangely progressive. Suspiciously so. After the assassination of Oleg Bilibin at the Govnomaz Sergeya Vertushkina, the ownership of the Uyar-based studio was transferred to Alexei Koptsev. Who is Mr. Koptsev? Nobody knows. His Not Facebook page has posts of liberal, anti-Putin, and Nazi-adjacent nature. What? The final event of the chapter is the Shish attack on the Kruchina's compound. The attack happens entirely within a cutscene. The gameplay bit is another sneaking mission that doesn't even seem to feature any enemies. Alas, the princess is in another castle. The cutscenes in the game are honestly well directed and strangely artistic. I think Yuri was supposed to say a badass one-liner, but the audio bugged out. The dramatic final battle has us facing 3 sequential groups of basic enemies. Very creative, Mr. Koptsev. Onwards to the penultimate chapter, the Moscow outskirts, the gathering of rebel armies. Kirsha finally gets to meet Pozharsky, and he is absolutely in love with the man. Kirsha is such a Runat and a Maloros. In the previous 2 chapters, the game came dangerously close to being fun, so now we are back to endless boring fetch questing. Someone is trying to destroy the rebel army from the inside. This Santa Claus-looking motherfucker is our primary suspect. Yuri's job is to find proofs of his misdeeds, and naturally we do this by beating people up. People like the Alpha Cossack here. I don't get this combat system. Maybe it's because the courtier is an overpowered class, but as you can see, the Cossack never even exited the staggered state. This location is called Gulai Gorod, which is an East Slavic term for a mobile fortification made up of carts and boards. These were used with great success against steppe nomads. After enduring 2 hours of some of the most mind-numbingly boring gameplay invented by human civilization, we discover that Santa is innocent. The real spy is hanged. If you betray your country, your cause, your friends, what's the point of begging for mercy? Yeah, that's what we do with fascist Russophobes. Speaking of, this is a report published by the Medialogia project, a Russian automated media monitoring system. A week from the release of the game, the project monitored 240,000 social network posts about Smuta. 14,000 of them were positive, 87,000 were negative, and the rest neutral. Negative posts included words like fiasco, failure, trash, garbage, cringe, undercooked, boring, drawn out, inexpressive. The Medialogia analysts concluded that the comments must have been written using a template. Thus, we can confidently say that the project is being subjected to a large-scale attack. Attacked by whom? The 72nd Center of Information and Psychological Operations of the Ukrainian Navy is determined to be responsible for flooding social media with mean comments, mobilizing military assets for RPG criticism. Truly, RPGs are the highest form of art. But it is concerning. First Bilibin, now this. Indeed, dark clouds are gathering over the motherland. The Poles on the other side of the river have cannons. Well, how do we solve this problem? By following the quest compass and clicking on objects. The Poles are drafting peasants to work on their fortifications. Yuri automatically changes his image to a shish so that he can blend in with the locals. That's how we get inside the cannon base and set their gunpowder on fire. Go! No, we still have an hour of fetch questing ahead of us. The chapter villain is our old frenemy Ivan Zarutsky, the ataman of the Dawn host. You have betrayed the motherland, Yuri interrogates a Cossack traitor. And this guy is like, Sir, I'm from Poland. If Ivan were to become Tsar, he would make everyone free, he says. Zarutsky is drunk, and frankly, it doesn't look like he's in charge of anything. Oh, damn it!
Classic Russia.
Imagine if Kojima made a game like this. Both of you are fools, as is the rest of the boyar trash. Marina believes that a woman should be in charge of Russia because women are better at handling court intrigue. I don't think this is
I mean, Catherine the Great did the partitions.
Evidence-based. She is not scheming on behalf of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. She is in this for herself and God. What's funny is that Yuri still doesn't know her real name. Irena, or whoever you are, freedom is your punishment.
What?
You will regret not killing me, Boyar Miroslavsky. Marina will regret it a lot more, in fact. It's a very dark story. Welcome to the endgame. The rebel army surrounded the Poles in Moscow. An urban level finally. The White Stone Fortress is not the same Kremlin that exists today. This is its previous incarnation. The besieged Poles are trying to break through, but our biggest enemy is the frame rate. Despite there being a war and a siege and, bodies hanging from lampposts, parts of the city still manage to function normally. This Cossack is a Charakternik, which is a type of a Cossack sorcerer, healer, and teacher. In some ways, a Zaporizhian version of Asian martial arts master. Charakterniks can catch bullets with their hands and throw them back at their enemies. They place sorcerer's enchantments on their guns. They walk on water and fire, turn invisible. They can see the future and control the weather. In the game, this is possibly the only opponent who dual wields weapons. Our protagonist teams up with Insane Clown Posse to rob a rich man's house. How does this help us defeat the Poles? What? The Poles? Yuri, you moron! You were supposed to destroy the Russians, not join them. But from my point of view, it's the Catholics who are evil. A strong opening from Kruchina with a kick in the balls. He can summon Holop allies, that's new. But ultimately the combat system is incapable of challenging the player. Kruchina is stun-locked and defeated just as easily as the very first opponent in the game. The nuclear apocalypse color filter is nature's way of telling us that the final battle is about to begin. It involves Yuri navigating open-air corridors and fighting groups of 4 enemies. But somehow the Poles are winning.
True!
And when all
the Poles are always winning. The Poles are the bestest. Yes.
Hope is lost.
It actually is, sort of.
Kirsha the Cossack arrives with reinforcements. A brotherly
the best Russian RPG ever made.
People's moment. Go!
I need to play this game.
This was Smuta, or Troubles, a state-funded video game. 20 hours of filler, 20 minutes of fun cutscenes. Is this political propaganda? Virtually everyone in the story has better politics than Yuri and his rebel friends. Zarutsky the Cossack promised to make everyone free. Kruchina wanted to keep people from starving. The Demon Knight didn't want to be a slave. The only truly smart character is a Polish noblewoman. Well, no, maybe not the only one. When we meet her in Moscow, Anastasia says that she will mastermind her own escape, and that we should take it easy, because the purpose of a boyar's head is to wear a hat. Is this traditional values? Is this game a tool of government influence? Of the Polish government, maybe? Is it a corruption scheme? A scheme to redistribute government money to a bunch of graphic artists and voice actors, perhaps? Is Smuta subversive? Is it secretly clever?
I need this game.
No. And then we have ending slides, just like in Fallout. Yuri's relationship with Nastya eventually broke down. I probably picked the wrong dialogue option at some point. In any case, I consider this to be a good outcome. Having won the power struggle, the philosophers of the COP faction kept inventing new types of right-wing idpol. But nothing they came up with was even remotely as successful as the hotep of communism. With its invention, the system of Muscovite idealism was complete. Nothing else needed to be done. Dmitry Gluchovsky, the author of Metro books, betrayed his dork brethren by making things people actually liked. For his crimes, he was cancelled, exiled.
That's right. And his books are actually being taken off the shelves now. The Metro books are being taken off the shelves in Russia.
From Discord and blocked on Xitter. And then there was the mysterious stranger, hiding behind a mask. Nobody knew his true identity. Just like everyone else, having never played Smuta, the masked patriot mistakenly believed that the game was political propaganda. But instead of opposing it, he wrote in its support. In this article, he reveals a connection between the Russian developer Oddmeter.
Yeah, but the problem is that CD Projekt would still make a good game. Or at least serviceable.
A Polish 11-bit studio who conspired to launch a media attack on the game. This is 1612 all over again. Many questions remain unanswered. Who ordered the assassination of Billy? What truly happened at the Govno Mass that fateful night? Who is Mr. Koptsev? Is there any truth to the rumors? Is he the long-lost great-great-great-great-great-grandson of the Polish Prince Vladislav? Our Patreon-supported think tank will keep monitoring the situation. Patreon credits, and then we'll see if it's possible to salvage this. These videos are bankrolled by the Association of Voyenkors of the Uyarian Spring, including Jim Lawrence, Arkelis, a two-room apartment in Bobruisk, Belarus, Snafu, Ganso Bomber Motherfucker, Serpin, Azazel and Baneful the Doggo, Ray Ners, Tony Spagani, Danny Kilpatrick, Eric Luitkehans, Dark Butt Pumpkin, Frog, Source is the best engine ever made, Billy Strayhorn, Mopo, C6, I Feed My Parrot Chicken, 1967 Ford Mustang, Dmitry Yu, Ilya Rubin, Yuri Solodovnichenko, Bucks.
Hey, are those all Patreons? How big is this channel? Oh my god, why can't I have
Machiva. So, what went wrong? Elementary, dear Boris. You didn't hire an RPG theorist. Every serious corporation employs at least one. Apple, Boeing, McDonald's, it's just basic stuff. Frankly, not employing a monocled RPG theorist is an extremely unwashed Moskal behavior, Mr. Gorislavsky. And sure, our services do not come cheap, but a petrostate can probably afford it, and you'll be saving money in the long term. I don't even need to see a prototype to tell you that this dialogue style style will not work for a fully voiced RPG. A theorist could have told you that this should have been a top-down game. The budget of Witcher 3 was $81 million. The budget of Pillars of Eternity was $4.4 million. And that thing was made in California. Top-down is cheap, and if done right, it's just as pretty. Of course, these sorts of games seem to have much smaller audiences, and presumably we are making a game for the people, not just for enthusiasts. So this is why Smuta should have been a top-down Diablo-style clicker. For our purposes, it's a perfect genre, accessible, engaging, popular. Historical theming is an excellent fit for this type of a game. You are not just clicking on monsters to make the number go up. You are clicking on monsters to make the number go up, and you are learning about history. But that's an idea for Smuta 2 Electric Boogaloo. What they should do with this game is A. Make all the assets free to use for anyone, under a very flexible license. I know some Neverwinter modders who would love some of this stuff. And B. There is no B. Forget about this game. Give me money on Patreon.
Give me money on Patreon.
See you in a few weeks.
Ну что? Classic. Okay, I'll go to the toilet and then I'll be back. I'll be back to entertain you all. For more money, donate. Listen, enter this link or something, and then you know what to do. I made myself a sandwich. What? It's very different. Because you say it with a hard V. The way you're actually supposed to pronounce it in Polish is kurwa, not kurwa. Kurwa with a hard V. Va. You know? So you're supposed to do it. One more reaction to for the night. Or President Sunday. Also, we should play a game at some point.
Okay, here we go. So this is Hasanabi reacting to Briannabu being awful, but a teen shark eats him at the end.
Heard less chirpers. Have you guys noticed that like the more intense Israel gets and the more you see white women posting about like Rafah and shit, the less you see the fucking freaks before that would come in and chirp about J-Dams and shit? What happened? I don't think we banned all of them. They make enough fucking sock accounts.
Oh, Barry! Oh my god, Jess! The one you know. Thank you for the tier 2 subscription. Thank you, Jess. Oh my gosh. Jess, it's been so long. What's been happening? What have you been up to? How are you? Hello. How have you been? It's been a while, it seems. It feels.
Yeah, Jake Sullivan said recently that the United States would be watching very carefully the level of number of deaths, actually, and level of destruction in.
No, I know what happened. It's because Biden stupidly said we have a red line. Okay? If he had not said
Just working mostly. Went to Arizona for a week about a month ago. I went to Ukraine recently. Just the one you know. And I just came back from Ukraine recently. And now I'm gonna go again. Because I have interviews to do. I've got interviews set up, believe it or not. Okay. I went to Ukraine recently, Jess. The one you know. It's true. I've been in Kiev. And then on my way back, I went to Lviv. I think so. I think he might be. Yeah. But the difference between us is that he hangs around the front line and I hang around Kiev when it's safe. I hang around the city where it's safe. It was good. I went to a few organizations to talk to them about things. I've got an interview set up with an organization called Save Ukraine. It helps save children that were kidnapped by Russia. It's a very important organization. So I'm glad they were willing to talk to me. Even though basically I just came in from the street. They were still willing to talk to me, which I'm glad they were. So I'm gonna do an interview with my phone. Unless you wish to donate some so that I can get it something better than the phone. It was good. It was good. And I think it will be even better next time. I'm gonna release some material because I've done some recording in Ukraine. So I'm gonna release some material of the city, etc. Yeah, it will be a good interview. I believe that one will be good. I'm hoping to get more. Like more citizens getting involved with helping the army. You know? Like, there's this, near Kiev, there's this program for regular citizens to learn how to make drones and assemble drones. And it would be nice to talk to them about how the whole program is, etc. Like, a citizen can just assemble a drone, send it to the program. Well, first learn how to assemble a drone, then send the drone for testing to the program. If the drone works well, then the person will be paid for the drone. It's a very interesting system. Very interesting system, which I'm interested in sort of investigating this program.
That we wouldn't be at this position.
I actually have to check something real quick. I'm joking, by the way. Yeah, I know. But it's still really interesting, this program that allows citizens to partake, to contribute in a really tangible way.
Because Biden stupidly said
So we're watching Hassan Piker trash everyone.
there's a red line. Okay.
I mean, thank God for the deterioration of Biden's brain. It's been the work of God.
And then the ICC moved forward, and the ICJ moved forward to enforce Biden's red line, even though they immediately
Why is a shark eating people? It's just how Shark Day do.
walked it back, by the way. Most Democrats that are just Biden dick riders that will literally say whatever the Democratic Party is saying is like allowed, turned around and were like, see, he's actually doing his very best. When in fact, he could be doing his very best by enforcing red lines, but he's not. But those guys were too stupid, and because they wanted to say,
I mean, to be fair, the US is not exactly enforcing red lines with the Ukraine war either. I mean, didn't Biden warn that there would be big consequences if Russia ever used chemical weapons in Ukraine? And then Russia did use chemical weapons in Ukraine, and there were no big consequences to be seen. Do we remember that?
I told you so. See, Biden is trying to stop this war, not ethnic cleansing, war. They all ran to celebrate Biden's decisions too quickly. And every single time things like that happen, more people get the moral courage and also the permission to say what they truly fucking feel about Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign. And that's precisely the reason why you're seeing a lot of those people basically,
This is weirdly pithy for Hassan. He's been, maybe I've just seen the worst of him, but he's been pretty kind of dim and waffling most of the times I've seen him talk. This is actually weirdly on point. Maybe I've just only seen the bad clips.
Backtrack from their prior positions. There were people, even Hamza, the what do you call it? The fucking Palestinian.
Yeah, I'll talk. And that is a problem. Because if the other side figures out that you're all talk, then,
living in Germany, the one that wrote the Newsweek article about how shitty the college
becomes a problem.
Students are for protesting for Palestine. Even he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me when I said those things. I'm actually so fucking pro-Palestinian, you don't even know." So what happened? Even Brianna Wu, Brianna Wu doesn't give a fuck. There's no way. No, Brianna Wu's too fucking stupid. Brianna Wu is entirely.
Fuck it. I like Hassan now. Okay.
What is this?
What was that sound? What was that sound? Hang on.
I still don't like Hassan. Jesus.
Brianna Wu is entirely too fucking stupid to understand when she's advocating for a lost cause. Guys, you're forgetting. She's so fucking stupid that she literally learned about Israel Palestine after October 7. If you remember her
Isn't Brianna Wu a matured woman? Shouldn't she know about Israel Palestine before?
earlier post, like in the immediate aftermath of October, she was like, "Hassan, I'm actually a fan of yours, so I don't really understand why you're saying certain things."
Hassan on Israel Palestine is a Hassan I really like. Hassan on Russia is a Hassan I'm not a fan of. Hassan on
True, Hassan of Russia is like unhinged and stupid.
Israel Palestine, I just hate Brianna Wu that much.
Maybe I just hate Brianna Wu that much. Well, at least being honest, Wu literally doesn't understand anything. I can't believe people trust her with their money. Do people actually trust Brianna Wu with their money? Isn't she just a rich kid?
But
didn't she like get a couple $100,000 money for an animation studio or something?
He's like, he's lucid here. He's in flow.
Things. Literally, early October, she was like, I don't really know how I feel about everything that's going on. Don't you think that
No, that's not how Brianna would sound. I don't really know how I feel about everything directionally.
like, don't you think what happened to Israel is like really fucked up? Nowadays, she's literally like, everything in the Bible is real, historical fact. Moses was a real individual, historical figure who parted the Red Sea. And also,
I'd remind you, everyone, that Hassan has no thoughts on anything at all. All opinions he utters on his broadcasts are fed by his fellow YouTuber streamers. See? That's why you watch me. I actually do have opinions. Oh, yeah! Okay. Vote in the chat. Do you want me to continue reading the book today? Do you want me to continue reading the book? We can actually stop watching this soon and we can read the book. Are you fans of me reading books? And we have already started reading a book. The book is called 100 Years War in Palestine. Yeah, a book reading. We've already started. I think we've read like 30 pages. I can't quite remember when we left off. Yeah, it's a good book. It's a good book. Everybody should read it. I am. I stole your vibe. I stole your idea. I stole the idea of reading the book from you. A book reading, not burning. How did you... I said reading and you heard burning. How did that happen? You should donate for that. You should donate for making such a weird thing. Blah blah, that thing. Now I have the book. I had to give it back to the library. You should go back to the library and get it again. Unless you're finished with it. In which case, you know. Imagine reading LMAO. It feels like Jess is a big Vosh fan. Because Vosh says nobody reads. Fire is good. Not on books. I head to the bank tomorrow. I mean, you know, just read as much as you can. I try to read as much as I can as well. And also of course, I'm learning Ukrainian. Ukrainian is a really nice... People in Ukraine really like that I tried using Ukrainian words rather than to use Polish ones. I am a Vosh fan, but Vosh is correct about that. That's not true. I read. So we should purge the white names. Okay, let's continue the video.
From the river to
I guess so nobody wants me to read the book on stream. I'll read stuff, but usually political or something I've already read before. I mean, I read new history and politics books. I've started reading a book by Thomas Schelling. I think it's Thomas Schelling. It's called Arms and Influence. That's a political book. You want me to read the book? Read it? Oh, 2 people want me to read the book. Anybody else? What does anybody else think? So yes, I started reading the book Arms and Influence by Thomas Schelling. We all want you to read us a bedtime story. I have to go to bed soon, so I refrain from voting. Would anybody like to maybe throw me a donation to incentivize me to read the book?
To see Israel was all you will see. Jews are the fucking chosen sons and daughters of God, and if you don't agree with that, and that they deserve fucking Israel and maybe even Lebanon and definitely Egypt too, you're an anti-Semite. Like, she went from literally being like, hold on, let me understand this Israel stuff. I don't really know. On like October 10,
we have to think about policy, Potter.
To, you know, talking like Pastor John Hagee up in this bitch. Brianna citing the Bible. Once again, I must apologize. Yeah, this is it. I must apologize for questioning our nation's foremost expert, but if you're going to do biblical literalism, you should probably stick to whatever is actually in the Bible instead of
transformative content.
The original Jewish presence of the region dates to around 2000 BCE with the 12 tribes. About 700 years later, Egypt saw them as a threat. Then it came in and enslaved them. Moses led a slave revolt based with the help of divine intervention. Ugh, dude, you're like 50 years old. You're typing based in parentheses.
She's 70 in her soul.
Like, honestly, I can't read the rest.
Hold on, about I gotta dip soon after. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We're gonna read some book. Oh, thank you for the donation. And oh my gosh, $15 for reading purposes. Okay, now I have to read. Resend. I actually have to continue reading the IR book as well. Okay, I guess we're dropping the all right, I guess we're dropping the President Sunday video. Reading text, that's right. Thank you. All right. We're gonna read some pages and then I guess we're gonna finish the stream on that. Oh, thank you for the $10. Actually, I lied. Democracy isn't real, so I vote against reading with money. Well, you have to out. In order to win with your money, you have to outspend Thai Ryu. That's right. You'd have to outspend. You have to outspend Thai Ryu. That's right. That's right. So I guess I'm gonna look for the relevant page while you wonder if you want to outbid. I think we've ended. Good night, Greater Ain't. I will assume that we ended on page 30. Actually, I'm just too poor to keep going, or I would, lol. Or I was paid I could battle you. Good night. Well, thank you all very much for the donations. The chat is very generous tonight. Okay, we'll read some and then we're gonna go to sleep. I feel like my username is hard to pronounce. I am self-conscious now. Because I'm not sure how should I read it. Tajryu or Tairyu? Because it feels like I could read it both ways. Tai or Taj. They were among the thousands of men still absent from their homes at war's end. Some had emigrated to the Americas to escape conscription, while many, the writer Aref Shahader, later known as Arif al-Arif, among them, were being held in Allied prisoner of war camps. Others were in the hills, dodging the draft, like Najib Nassar, editor of the outspokenly anti-Zionist Haifa newspaper Al-Karmil. Meanwhile, there were all Arab soldiers who had deserted the Ottoman army and crossed the lines, or who were serving in the forces of the Arab revolt led by Sharif Hussein and allied with Britain. Still others, such as Isa al-Isa, the editor of Philistine, who had been exiled by the Ottoman authorities for his fierce independence with its strong echoes of Arab nationalism, were forced from the relatively cosmopolitan confines of Jaffa to various small towns in the heart of rural Anatolia. All of these profound material shocks heightened the impact of the wrenching post-war political changes, which obliged people to rethink long-standing senses of identity. By the end of the fighting, people in Palestine and in much of the Arab world found themselves under occupation by European armies. After 400 years, they were confronted by the disconcerting prospect of alien rule and the swift disappearance of Ottoman control, which had been the only system of government known for over 20 generations. It was in the midst of this great trauma, as one era ended and another began, against a grim background of suffering, loss, and deprivation, the Palestinians learned, in a fragmentary fashion, of the Balfour Declaration. How do you like this form of reading? Is it okay? Am I doing okay? How do you feel? The Balfour Declaration. Feels like we should be reading more. Keep going. The momentous statement made just over a century ago on behalf of Britain's cabinet on November 2nd, 1917, by the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Arthur James Balfour, who has come to be known as the Balfour Declaration, comprised a single sentence. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. It is. If before World War I, many prescient Palestinians had begun to regard the Zionist movement as a threat, the Balfour Declaration introduced a new and fearsome element. In the soft, deceptive language of diplomacy, with its ambiguous phrase approving the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, the declaration effectively pledged Britain's support for Theodor Herzl's aims of Jewish statehood, sovereignty, and control of immigration in the whole of Palestine. Significantly, the overwhelming Arab majority of the population, around 94% of that at that time, went unmentioned by Balfour, except in a backhanded way, as the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine. They were described in terms of what they were not, and certainly not as a nation or a people. The words Palestinian and Arab do not appear in the 67 words of the declaration. This overwhelming majority of the population was promised only civil and religious rights, not political or national rights. By way of contrast, Balfour ascribed national rights to what he called the Jewish people, who in 1917 were a tiny minority, 6% of the country's inhabitants. Before securing British backing, the Zionist movement had been a colonizing project in search of a great power patron. Having failed to find a sponsor in the Ottoman Empire, in the Wilhelmine Germany, and elsewhere, Theodor Herzl's successor, Chaim Weizmann, and his colleagues finally met with success in their approach to the wartime British cabinet led by David Lloyd George, acquiring the support of the greatest power of the age. The Palestinians now faced a far more formidable adversary than ever before. With British troops at that very moment advancing northward and occupying their country, troops who served a government that had pledged to implant a national home wherein unlimited immigration was meant to produce a future Jewish majority. The British government's intentions and objectives at the time have been amply analyzed over the past century. Among its many motivations were both a romantic, religiously derived Philo-Semitic desire to return the Hebrews to the land of the Bible, and an anti-Semitic wish to reduce Jewish immigration to Britain, linked to a conviction that world Jewry had the power to keep newly revolutionary Russia fighting in the war and bring the United States into it. Beyond those impulses, Britain primarily desired control over Palestine for geopolitical strategic reasons that antedated World War I, and that had only been reinforced by wartime events. However, important the other motivations may have been, this was the central one. The British Empire was never motivated by altruism. Britain's strategic interests were perfectly served by its sponsorship of the Zionist project, just as they were served by a range of regional wartime undertakings. Among them were commitments made in 1915 and 1916 promising independence to the Arabs led by Sharif Hussain of Mecca, enshrined in the Hussain-McMahon Correspondence, and a secret 1916 deal with France, the Sykes-Picot Agreement, in which the two powers agreed to a colonial partition of the Eastern Arab countries. More important than British motivations for issuing the Balfour Declaration is what this undertaking meant in practice for the crystal clear aims of the Zionist movement: sovereignty and complete control of Palestine. With Britain's um, unstinting support, these aims suddenly became plausible. Some leading British politicians extended backing to Zionism that went well beyond the carefully phrased text of the declaration. At a dinner at Balfour's home in 1922, three of the most prominent British statesmen of the era, Lloyd George Balfour and Secretary of State for the colonies Winston Churchill, assured Weizmann that by the term Jewish national home, they always meant an eventual Jewish state. Lloyd George convinced the Zionist leader that for this reason Britain would never allow representative government in Palestine, nor did it. For Zionists, their enterprise was now backed by an indispensable iron wall of British military might, in the words of Zev Jablonitsky. Yeah. For the inhabitants of Palestine, whose future it ultimately decided, Balfour's careful, calibrated prose was in effect a gun pointed directly at their heads, a declaration of war by the British Empire on the indigenous population. The majority now faced the prospect of being outnumbered by unlimited Jewish immigration to a country then almost completely Arab in its population and culture. Whether intended this way or not, the declaration launched a full-blown colonial conflict, a century-long assault on the Palestinian people, aimed at fostering an exclusivist national home at their expense. The Palestinian reaction to the Balfour Declaration was late in coming, and initially was relatively muted. Word of the British pronouncement had spread in most other parts of the world immediately following its promulgation. In Palestine, however, local newspapers had been shuttered since the beginning of the war by both government censorship and lack of newsprint, the result of a tight Allied naval blockade of Ottoman ports after British troops occupied Jerusalem in December 1917. The military regime banned publication of news of the declaration. Indeed, the British authorities did not allow newspapers to reappear in Palestine for nearly 2 years. When reports of the Balfour Declaration finally reached Palestine, they trickled in slowly via word of mouth and then through copies of Egyptian newspapers that travelers brought from Cairo. The bombshell struck a society prostrate and exhausted at this late stage of the war, when survivors of the chaos and displacement were slowly returning to their homes. There is evidence that they reacted with shock to the news. In December 1918, 33 exiled Palestinians, including Al-Isa, who had just made their way from Anatolia to Damascus, where their access to news was not restricted, sent an advance letter of protest to the peace conference being convened in Versailles, and to the British Foreign Office. They stressed that this country is our country and expressed their horror at the Zionist claim that Palestine would be turned into a national home for them. Such prospects may have seemed remote to many Palestinians when the Balfour Declaration was issued, at a time when Jews constituted a tiny minority of the population. Nonetheless, some far-sighted individuals, Yusuf Dia al-Khalidi among them, had discerned the danger posed by Zionism early on. In 1914, Isa al-Isa wrote in an astute editorial in Philistine of a nation threatened with disappearance by the Zionist tide in this Palestinian land, a nation which is threatened in its very being with expulsion from its homeland. Those who felt trepidation about the encroachment of the Zionist movement were alarmed by its ability to purchase large tracts of fertile land from which the indigenous peasants were removed, and by its success in increasing Jewish immigration. Indeed, between 1909 and 1914, some 40,000 Jewish immigrants had arrived, although some left soon afterwards. And 18 new colonies of a 1914 total of 52 had been created by the Zionist movement on land it had bought mainly from absentee landlords. The relatively recent concentration of private land ownership greatly facilitated these lands purchases. The impact of Palestinians was especially pronounced in agricultural communities in areas of intensive Zionist colonization. The coastal plain and the fertile Marj Ibn, Amr and Hula valleys in the north, many peasants and villages neighboring the new colonies had been deprived of their land as a result of the land sales. Some had also suffered in armed encounters with the first paramilitary units formed by the European Jewish settlers. Okay, so we've read 4 pages. What do you think? Is this good? I'm getting a bit tired. I'm getting a bit tired. How long have we been streaming? 3 hours, 40 minutes. So shall we finish for today and continue tomorrow? What do you think? Shall we continue this tomorrow? Tiring. I am a bit tired. Great job, Lucy. Thank you. Thank you. I do my best. What? You want me to read more? Estelle is not amused with my behavior. Get some rest, Queen. I've been doing chores. Oh. So I guess I'll go to sleep for tonight and we'll continue this tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. And, see you tomorrow. I press and stream. Good night. Love and solidarity. And we love our non-binary siblings.